My stepchildren told me to know my place in their house, so I did. Gone. And I took my financial support with me. Hello, Reddit I plus here. My name is Landon Hayes, I'm 45 years old, and for the better part of a decade, I thought I was building a blended family. Turns out I was just funding one. If someone had told me 8 years ago that I'd walk away from a house full of people I once called family, I would have laughed. But life has a way of showing you where you really stand, especially when those around you think your only purpose is to provide. Let me take you back to where it started. 8 years ago, I met Marissa. She was 37, divorced, raising 3 kids. Caleb, then 15, Nora 13, and Liam 10. Marissa worked in HR, smart and composed. One of those people who could make chaos look manageable. She had this quiet confidence that drew people in, me included. At the time, I was renting a modest 2-bedroom apartment on the east side of town, saving to buy a house of my own. I'd been an electrician for nearly 20 years, running my own small business. Work was steady, and I was comfortable. Not rich, but proud of what I'd built. Marissa's situation was rougher. Her ex, Darren, hadn't paid consistent child support in months, and the house they lived in was falling apart. Broken heater, leaky roof, doors that wouldn't close properly. I'd fix things for her when I came over. At first just small favors, but soon I was practically the unpaid maintenance guy. After about 9 months of dating, I thought I'd found the one, so I made what I thought was a grand, romantic gesture. I found a beautiful 4-bedroom house in a good neighborhood, big backyard, walking distance to great schools, and I suggested we move in together. I'd handle the down payment and the mortgage. She'd cover groceries, household needs, the day-to-day stuff. We'll build a life together, I told her. Her eyes filled with tears. The kids seemed excited. They'd each get their own rooms. Liam even hugged me and said, "This is like a dream house." For the first year, it actually felt like one. I made sure everyone felt at home. I built a basketball hoop in the driveway for Caleb, helped Nora set up a vanity desk for her makeup and art projects, and created a cozy reading corner for Liam, complete with beanbags and shelves I installed myself. I wasn't trying to replace their dad, I just wanted to be there. I was at every school concert, every parent-teacher meeting, every football game. When Marissa had to work late, I'd handle dinner and homework duty. And for a while, it seemed like things were working. But around year 2, something changed. At first it was small. Caleb stopped saying thank you when I'd buy him gear for his team. Nora started acting cold, rolling her eyes whenever I offered help. Liam, my little buddy, began calling me by my first name, instead of the nickname he'd made up for me years earlier. When I mentioned it to Marissa, she brushed it off. "They're teenagers, Landon. They test boundaries. Give it time." So I did, but instead of getting better, it got worse. By year 3, I was invisible. At family events, when people asked the kids about their family, they'd say, "It's me, my mom, and my siblings." No mention of me. Caleb's friends would come over and he'd introduce Marissa as his mom, and then awkwardly skip over me like I was a stranger. Still, I gave. When Nora wanted to join an expensive dance academy, I wrote the check. When Liam needed tutoring, I found the best one in town and paid up front for 6 months. When Caleb's old car broke down, I spent my entire weekend fixing it. Free of charge, of course. And the thanks I got? Eye rolls, shrugs, silence. Marissa started making excuses for them. "They're adjusting," she'd say. "It's hard having 2 homes." Except, they didn't really have 2 homes. Darren showed up maybe once every few months, usually to take them to dinner and talk about how unfair their mother was. I was the one there every day. But apparently, that made me the help, not the parent. Then came the wedding. After 5 years together, I thought making it official might finally shift things. I even asked Caleb to stand beside me as part of the ceremony. He agreed, but I could tell his heart wasn't in it. The ceremony was beautiful, small, intimate. Marissa looked stunning, and the kids smiled for the photos. But during the reception, I overheard Nora talking to her cousin. "Mom's lucky," she said. "Landon pays for everything. We're set now. Not, he's good to us. Not, we love him. Just he pays for everything." That should have been the moment I woke up, but I didn't. Not yet. A few months later, I sat everyone down at the dinner table. I wanted to talk about respect, family, what it means to be a team. Caleb didn't even look up from his phone. "Just because you married our mom doesn't mean you're our dad," he said flatly. Nora chimed in. "Yeah, Darren's our dad. You're just..." Landon, even Liam, the quiet one, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You're nice, but you're not really family." And Marissa? She just sat there, silent, didn't defend me, didn't correct them, just let it hang in the air like truth. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours, realizing I'd been fooling myself. I wasn't building a family. I was renting space in someone else's, but the final straw came months later. I came home early from a job site, forgot a toolbox. I walked in quietly, and in the kitchen, the kids were talking. They didn't know I was there. Caleb, he acts like he owns the place. It's so annoying, Nora. Seriously, dude's just mom's husband, not our dad. Liam, he thinks we should be grateful he's here. Like, bro, calm down, Caleb. He needs to know his place. This is our house, Nora. Exactly. He just pays for it. Mom could do better anyway. Then laughter, not cruel, just casual, like I was a joke. I stood there frozen, listening to 3 people I'd sacrificed for, emotionally, financially, mentally, mock me in my own home. That's when something in me died. Not broke, died. That night, I smiled through dinner, helped with homework, cleaned the kitchen. I didn't say a word, but I started planning. Over the next few weeks, I documented everything. Every payment, every repair, every expense. Mortgage, utilities, tuition, insurance, phones, subscriptions, everything I'd covered for years. When I was done, the total stunned me. Over $420,000 spent in 7 years. I wasn't angry, just numb. Then, one evening, it all came crashing down. Marissa was working late, so I brought home pizza for the kids. Caleb sat scrolling on his phone. Nora complained about her dance instructor, and Liam refused to take off his earbuds. Can we put the phones away for dinner? I asked calmly. Caleb looked up, smirked. You're not my dad. You don't make the rules. Nora snorted. Seriously, Landon, chill. You live here, that's it. And Liam, without missing a beat, said, This isn't your house anyway. It's ours. I put my fork down, slowly, carefully. You're right, I said quietly. I should know my place. I stood up, went to my office, printed out every financial record I had, and called my lawyer. When Marissa got home, I played her the recording. The kids' voices, mocking me, saying I didn't belong. Her face drained of color. They're just kids, she whispered. They don't mean it. I looked at her and said, Marissa, they've been saying it for years, and you've never once corrected them. She started to cry, but I was already done. I slid a binder across the table. That's everything I've paid for. I'm selling my half of the house. You can buy me out or move. Either way, I'm gone. You can't just walk away, she sobbed. I'm not walking away, I said. I'm giving them exactly what they asked for. Their house, their family. Without me in it, the next week was chaos. The Wi-Fi got cut off, streaming services canceled, insurance lapsed, dance classes stopped. Caleb was the first to crack. This is insane. We didn't mean it like that. I said, You meant every word. You told me my place, and I found it. Somewhere else, Nora cried. We're sorry. Please just come back. For what? I asked. For years of disrespect? Or for losing what I gave you? Even Liam, my little guy, said, I didn't know you were keeping track of money. That's kinda mean. And in that moment, I knew I was doing the right thing. Even their apologies were transactional. 2 weeks later, I moved out. Found a small apartment across town, peaceful, quiet, mine. Marissa couldn't afford the house on her own. She sold it and moved in with her sister. Darren, the real dad, disappeared again once the bills showed up. Months passed. I got letters from the kids. Caleb admitting he never realized how much I did. Nora saying she took me for granted. Liam drawing a picture of our old backyard with I'm sorry written in shaky letters. I read every one. Then I put them away. Because none of them said the one thing that mattered. I was wrong. A year later, I met Hannah. She's a nurse, kind, patient, grounded, no kids, no drama. We're getting married next spring. Sometimes I see Marissa at the grocery store. She looks tired, defeated. We nod, nothing more. I've heard Caleb dropped out of college. Nora's working part-time at a coffee shop. Liam's struggling with grades. Do I feel bad? Sometimes, but then I remember that night at dinner when they told me to know my place. And I did. My place wasn't in a house built on resentment. It was somewhere peace lived. Because here's what I learned. You can't buy respect. You can't love someone into valuing you. And you can't build a home on ungrateful hearts. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away.